Happy Saturday! Welcome back to Pitstain's Basement. Your bubbly host is here, and the slog of yesterday's painting, I have slept it away, I am recharged, and we're ready to go back to this thing. Now, I did my NATO black base coat. I got, like, if you press down on that, you got a little bit there. There's little hints. I've scratched a bit off of some of the metal bits. There's a few spots that I do need to just touch up real quick. I was doing so much painting, your eyes start to blur. You start going into this, like, psychosis of airbrushing, and you're just like, well, it'll never end, and you may make a mistake or two, but it's no big deal. That's the lovely nature of painting with one of these. You go just add a little more. God, always when I'm filming. Hold on. Well, if there's one constant in this world, if my wife leaves to go do something, and then I come down here, within minutes, the phone rings. Because she just needs to chat. She misses me so much. She has to hear the sound of my voice. You all love it. I love the sound of my own voice. We get it. But I'm like, honey, come on, what's going on? And she's just like, I'm walking around downtown Woodstock, and I just love it. It's just so nice. There's so many people everywhere. This is great. I'm happy for her. I truly am. I like downtown Woodstock as well. We're inside kind of the perimeter area in Atlanta, and the charm has worn off a bit over the years. But either way, like I said, you could always fix your boo-boos. You could always add more paint. Taking away extra paint, not as easy. We don't ever want to have that kind of situation down here. So either way, I'm going to touch up a little bit of the NATO black. Then we got to start doing highlight coat, and then, all right, I'll show everyone. Never used this stuff before in my life. Mission Models paint gets very good reviews, and yes, it is the proper German RAL or something or other red oxide primer. We have the Mission Models thinner and the Mission Models poly additive. Very specific mixing instructions for these. It's basically 10% this and 10% this added to this. So if this is 30 milliliters, we want 3 milliliters of this and 3 milliliters of that. And one way to get very accurate milliliter readings is to get a syringe of some form. Now, I happen to have these syringes, and luckily I am not diabetic. Not yet, knock on wood. But this will go up to 100 units, or 1 cc, and 1 cc equals 1 milliliter. I love the metric system for that simple matter. So we will do 3 syringes of thinner and 3 syringes of poly as per Mission Models website. We will start there. We will put in the airbrush at the proper 10 to 15 psi range, and we will see how it goes. We'll obviously start with a wheel or something that's not as obvious before hitting all the fun bits. And we got the back plate on there. It's looking nice. See, look, like I need a little NATO black right there. I got to cover up some of that bare metal. Some of the screw heads, when I was futzing with them, I stripped a little paint off. The more layers of paint we add, and then obviously clear coats, it'll toughen everything up a lot. So either way, enough talking, enough flapping. The wife says hi, everybody. We'll be back. Okay, so my first time using Mission Models paints, thinned and polyed and whatever, as per their website's instructions. No YouTube tutorials, went straight to the manufacturer. Honestly, surprisingly pretty easy to paint with. Here's one wheel done. It does dry to a little more of a satiny semi-gloss, not semi-gloss, but a satiny finish. It doesn't matter. We're going to flat clear anything, but that came out pretty good. We started with something like this, okay? That's what we ended up with. It's quite nice. I'm a little proud of myself, I guess. But yeah, we got it loaded up in there. And the trick is to just go. And these wheels have a lot of details. So you kind of got to go at funny angles. And I did get a couple of little splatters of my white base coat. We have to get in there tight, which is why a double action airbrush is handy. Yeah. That looks pretty good. And when it dries, it'll look something like this. If they're not all identical, it's fine. That's kind of the weathered look we're going for. And then we got to do the whole rest of this thing. So it's a very slow painting process because you're just slowly building the paint up. You know, you're not. We broke out the Tamiya spray work for this, but you want to work in little sections at a time, and you don't want full coverage. You want to be about 3 inches away from the piece with this paint at least. We're at 15 psi for the Mission models. Okay, and what we're going to do is you first turn everything basically pink. It's very hard to paint on camera. And you don't want too much coverage. Keep the brush moving in small circles. At least that's how I paint. Other people have different techniques that work for them. That's perfectly fine. I don't care how they do it, and they could be better. This is how I am comfortable. Okay, so this is like, we're not doing a full, you know, everything. You just want the hot spots of the white gone. Okay, and that's where we're at. It needs like 2 or 3 more layers like this thick to get the desired results that we want. And our airbrush is already empty again. This paint does foam up a bit. Oh, hold on. The paint does get a little foamy in the cup, kind of like the problem I had with Vallejo and their Mecha White. It was a little foamy, but whatever. You know, it is what it is. I'm not kicking Tamiya or Mr. Hobby Paints out of bed for any of this Mission models or Vallejo stuff. Vallejo, I'll avoid like the plague putting in an airbrush. I'm honest. I hated it. This Mission models, it's okay. I'll tolerate Mission models paints because they work fairly easy. But and we haven't plugged the airbrush yet, which is a bonus. But I got to keep painting. This thing's gonna get to be all juicy and cloggy. But we always have the ultrasonic parts washer in the back if calamity ensues. But there you go. Look at that. I painted on YouTube like a no, not like a pro at all. Yes, you don't come to this channel to watch a pro where you couldn't even hope to duplicate his results. Like what is it? Night Shift? Is that it? Night Shift? That guy's ungodly good. We are barely mediocre at this place. So stay tuned. More pink coming up. BRB. All right, so we killed our first bottle of Mission Models paint. This is smidge left in here. So this is what we got done with a 30 milliliter bottle of Mission. Thinned out as per instructions. We got, well, 1.5 road wheels. I got to do the backs of this. And then we got the whole upper hull painted. There we go. You know, a lot of Porsches are red on the road these days, so that's what I'm going for. This is it, guys. It is going to be a pre-production, red oxide primered, like Hellboy, Warhammer-ish looking monster. Just it's beautiful. I like the results. I saw this on Andy's Hobby Headquarters. He did a very similar, you know, paint job with the same Mission Models paint and similar results. I may dust over it with a little bit more red oxide before we're done, but I'm pretty happy. The highlight and shadow coat came through nicely. It's just finesse. It's constantly just going over back and forth until it just, all of a sudden, then you step back and boom, the magic happens. There we go. So not bad. I'm going to go upstairs for a little bit. I had to clean the airbrush. We went through like that whole 30 milliliter bottle, and the airbrush started to sputter a little. Even the Tamiya started to fall on its face. So in the ultrasonic parts washer it goes, and we will come back. And, you know, I probably shouldn't leave that there. Yeah, I'll put that off to the side like our cooking show. We're going to take the doggies out back. We'll throw a ball, let them go, let them take a dump somewhere. Pee, a couple treats, and then we're going to be back here working on this again. So we'll BRB. We need a tactical reload. Put a new shell in. Lock the breech. Cock. Fire. This buds to Mission Models paint. It made me start drinking. Okay. Not as bad as the Vallejo Mecha White. But after doing the whole lower hull, road wheels, suspension, chassis, etc., and half of my hands and arms, this is one of the I will never use this paint again unless I have to paints. It made it into the nether regions of parts of my Tamiya, basically an Iwata airbrush, but it made it into parts of that airbrush I've never seen paint make it into. I thinned it. I added the thinner and the poly to the letter using a damn diabetes syringe, so I was exactly with the milliliters. And the paint honestly sprayed really well. It really sprayed well. It's a good spraying paint. The problem is the fallout from what happens to the inside of your airbrush from this thing. They give very specific instructions on cleaning the airbrush, not to use alcohol, not to use this, not to, so I didn't. They said use our thinner. I did. Then I threw it in a boiling hot bath of distilled water and a little bit of Meguiar's APC, all-purpose cleaner. It's a non-acidic, non-ammonia, general-purpose cleaner. It's safe on basically everything. It's like Simple Green, but not non-toxic. But either way, the airbrush, we ran it through 2 cycles. I think it's been rehabilitated. We still have to paint the turret. Once our engineer, who we just had a FaceTime conversation with, he's going to start the test print of the trunnion today. And then I think he's trying to knock out the breech extension in the machine shop sometime this week early. And then hopefully send me some prototypes that we could try to fit things together. And of course, that assumes my barrel comes in from Germany, which it's at the Fluffenhagen. Dear God, it said DHL parcel. It didn't say douche post. So I'm hoping it's actually going on a DHL airplane and not waiting for a commercial passenger jet. But either way, fingers crossed, everybody. It makes it out of the Fluffenhagen at a reasonable time. Either way, Mission Models paint C- for airbrush. No, D for airbrush friendliness. But yeah, here we go. This is what you really want to see. This is why you're here. Here is our Hellboy tank. Oh yeah, she's pretty special. I mean, it's not bolted down or anything, but we got all the road wheels on. We got all our hex bolts on the lower hull. She's looking, spiffy and front heavy. So yeah, that's where we're at right now. We have to put the whole machine gun in. We could probably unmask this headlight. We have to hand touch up the slit in the headlight because I just stuffed the slit of the headlight with masking tape to keep from getting paint on my LED. Tailpipes, I didn't do any real red on them on purpose, at least, because we're going to rust those up. And we got to hit this thing with a clear, flat clear, gloss clear, doesn't matter. Some kind of clear just so we can do some panel lining and streaking grime and whatever we want to do. A little I don't even want to really chip it too much. I want this to look like straight out of the tank factory, pre-production, not really a combat veteran tank. Even though some pre-production Porsche style turrets did end up in combat. They didn't fare very well. Neither did really any of the Tiger 2s. But either way, yeah, that's where we're at. This stage is donezo. I can't really touch the upper turret until I get my my other bits and pieces. I could probably start loading some electronics into the hull and getting those tested. And like I said, I got to work on the wiring for our convoy light and our headlight. I have to manually paint our convoy light, so that's going to need a deft touch. But yeah, there we go. Dear God, yeah. Oh, I don't want to have to use this again. I'm definitely not putting it in my Tamiya gun, because if I'm going to ruin an air gun, I'm going to ruin my cheaper Madworks gun. And we ended up only using one 30 milliliter bottle of Mission Models, thinned per, factory, to get this finish on this whole part of the tank. So it was a fairly efficient paint, to be honest. Like I said, it sprayed extremely well. But dear Lord, you don't want to. You need an ultrasonic parts cleaner if you're going to use that Mission paint. There's There's no debating or negotiating. I mean, unless you're some master airbrush cleaner that doesn't need. There's a guy out there, some old timers. I could clean my airbrush like it'll look like brand new. I don't need them fancy, schmancy, ultrasonic parts. All right, Grandpa, whatever. Go ahead, clean my airbrush for me. I ain't doing that. Do it yourself. Yeah, I'll use the parts cleaner. Alrighty, well, enough of my ranting and random voices and multiple personality disorder. But just so you know, these little Weeha precision drivers. These work a treat. The 1.5 millimeter, so precise, really fits in to those set screws perfectly so they don't round out on the inside. Highly recommend the Weeha. Actually, in German, sorry, I was fixed. It's Weeha or Weeha. W is pronounced with a V in Germany. In German, yeah. So it's more like a Weeha. It's kind of a W and a V combined, but with the accent. But I don't do the accent, you know. Weeha. So Weeha. And we still have those nut drivers to give away. No one even tried to answer the questions in that video because nobody watched the whole video to get all the answers. Is watching one whole video to get all the answers not worth like a $44 set of Weeha nut drivers? I don't know. I guess not. We'll have more giveaways. That'll never give away because no one ever bothers to watch a video and answer the questions. Okay, fine. We're going to have another giveaway. Hold on. I'll be right back. Let's see here. All right. I'm going to put 3 questions. I'm going to put 3 questions in the description. Whoever answers all 3 questions correctly and is subscribed and likes the video will receive one of these 3 brand new 35th scale Tamiya tanks. We have a King Tiger, we have a Panther Aus FG, and we have a Panther Aus FD. And this one has a metal barrel, separate track link, photo etch grill sets included. This one has the Zimmerit coating and the motor. Wow, that's cool. And then this one, hell, this thing has the Ardennes front, whatever that means, and it has a full Aber photo etch set with it, including what looks like, yeah, a metal barrel too. So yeah, someone will get one of these 3 kits. I'll put 3 questions in the description that are in this video. You can answer them from this video. And whoever gets those 3 answers correct will get one of those 35th scale beautiful Tamiya tank kits. So there you go. And if you don't watch this far in the video, I'm going to say there's a giveaway. And to watch until the end to get the rules, and then you watch all of it. It's just a fun little game. I don't know why I do it. Whatever, you know. I want to give somebody something, but you have to earn it a little bit. All right? We all have to earn what we get. We work for what we have in this world, at least as far as I've been taught. So I'll see you next time. Have a blast doing whatever you're doing, and keep building and painting every day. There we go. I stole that line from Tavares, sort of. Either way, make questionable decisions. Adios.